Welcome back to the channel. My name is Daniel from Woodworking with Dash, and today we're going to make a birdhouse. The Bird Brain Hotel, guys. Look at that. What a great looking birdhouse. I'm going to be making a lot of birdhouses in the future. This is my first one. So come on a journey, and we'll make this birdhouse right now. What a great looking birdhouse, guys. Should attract a lot of different native birds, that one. Very cool. Good looking bird box, isn't it? I made it out of 15mm BC ply. I could have made it out of solid pine, but bloody things are expensive nowadays. Even pine timber is expensive. So I decided to make it out of 15mm BC, which has got a B face on the outside and a C face on the back. A bit rough on the back. But that's fine. It's only a birdhouse. So I'm going to use jarrah stain for all the dark bits and clear for the pine and the plywood. And we'll take it from there. Alright. The first thing I did was to make a pattern out of 3mm MDF. I don't know whether these holes are going to be bigger or smaller. I just drilled them thinking, well, I'll just drill them and see what happens. I think they might be a little bit big, but I'll apply it by ear first. I cut the ply roughly to shape and then put the pattern on them and then mark them and then recut them on the bandsaw. My boxes, which I've been trying to sell here or there, it's very hard. I'm not a salesman, so they're hard to sell. So I think I'll get some sales with these birdhouses. So I'm going to put a reasonable price on them, and to do that I've got to make them like in pairs, I think. So I'll make 2 or 3 at a time, just to keep the time down on making them, and they're fun to make too. This is my first bird box, and I'll make 2 of them. Yeah, just for something different. But I just like being in my shed and making woodwork. Let's go, guys. The first trick is to cut the ply roughly to shape, and so we can put the pattern on there. We'll do that first. Here I am just setting up the saw now. Set it up to about 295. But the ply was 1200, so I can get 4 pieces out of it. So when you're doing a project, guys, just take into account the width of your product. I could lose a bit of weight there too, couldn't I? Eh? Damn, getting old and fat. Haha, it's all fun. Up we go. It's a great saw, that little sliding table saw. I love it a lot. Makes life very easy. Now we're just cutting it roughly to the width. Careful with the blade there. Okay guys, we've got our pattern cut and we've got our blanks cut. 4 blanks, but I'm making 2 boxes. I marked top on the pattern, so I know which way is the top. But although the pattern's near perfect, it's not true perfect. If I turn the pattern over, it's just a little bit out up in the top edge and possibly a couple other places. So what that means is that you always got to keep the pattern the right way up. But we're working with plywood that is two different grades. We've got a B grade on the front, which is nice and smooth, and a C grade on the back, which is a little bit rough. So we want to keep the C grade to the inside all the time. So do everything in pairs. Let's mark that one as an A, and another A. So we've got A to A. And they're joined together, we've got a C grade to C grade, so we've got a left and a right. I hope that makes sense, but I'm not very good at explaining things sometimes. So we've got a C grade and a B grade, all marked out with the pattern facing the top. So when they go together, they'll be perfect. Okay, we'll cut these out on the bandsaw now, and we'll take it from there. Just cutting them out on the bandsaw now. I've got to stand sideways, but I've got no room. The assembly table there has to stay there. So I just make do. Another glorious day in the shed, as I say. Where would you rather be? It's a Monday, at work or in the shed? I'd rather be in the shed. Yeah, I found something great down at my big box store. Because I was looking for timber to do the roofs of the birdhouses and the surrounds. Look what I found. Merville garden edging, about 6 to 7 mil thick, 70 mil wide. Perfect. It's got a rounded edge already. Perfect to make the roofs and the surround for the birdhouse. And only about 15 bucks a length. I think it's 5.4 metres. That's good value. So I get about 2 birdhouses out of each length. That's about $7.50 for the roofs and the surrounds of the birdhouses. That's good value. Good value. And it's Merville, it's waterproof. Not waterproof, but it's an outside timber. Great. I love it. All right. Okay. Okay, guys. I made one birdhouse. I got one birdhouse to make. I did film this, but I lost all the video footage. I had a corrupt card in the camera, my computer says. And I can't argue with computers, mate. They know more than I know. Yeah, they sure do. All right, they sure do. Okay, all right. So I shall refilm a lot of this again. I'll show you how to make the surrounds. Since I lost all the footage about making the windows, I'll show you how I made them. The hardest part is cutting this around there, isn't it? How do you do that? I've done that one with a laser, but most people haven't got a laser. There's another way you can do it. I made this one a different way. I made it with the old hole saw. You see that? It's one of the old style hole saws, but I've left 2 of the saws in the hole saw. Drawing out the middle now of the hole with the hole saws. Popping the disc out. Look at that. Perfect. Pretty easy, guys, wasn't it? Pretty easy. Okay, now the next trick is once you've got your surround, you've got to cut your hole for your window in your plywood. Now you cut that bigger than the internal of your surround. So the surround forms the lip all the way around the hole. That way we can put our T-bar in the hole hard up against the surround and then just glue it in there. Now you've got to be very careful cutting these little T-bars. They're about 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch and I did a halving joint on them in the centre. So they just fit together. But they are small, guys. So when you're on the saw, be very, very careful. With the doorway, you could cut it with the hole saw and then cut it across and then just put 2 extensions on it if you like. And for the time being, we're going to start making the roof. So we've got our Merville now. We'll cut it down the guts, sand it up and stain it. Yeah, we'll do the roof first. Got a brand new blade in my saw, finally. I've been meaning to do it for a couple of months now, as you know. And this blade worked great. And just sanding the edges up now. And rounding over the sharp ends. To do that to all the flats. And staining them up now with the Jarrah stain. Be very careful with that, guys. The trick with using stain is to be very careful with it. That's why I put it into a big bucket. I just get a little bit at a time. If you've got it in a tin, you tip it up, it goes everywhere. So that's why I like it in a big container. I've got a lid on it so it won't evaporate. Especially if you're mixing it with timber that's not stained. So you've got to be very careful not to get any stain in the timber that you don't want stained. So you've got to wait till it dries. All right, and wear gloves. Okay. Packing up the stain now, putting the lid back on it. Try not to get too much stain on the lid itself, but the drips. And just locking it up. And be very careful when you're carrying it. And putting the box together now. It just glue and nail. That's all we're doing. Glue and nail. There you go. Just 4 bits of timber. But I've got all the windows and doors already on there. And just putting on the roof now with a bit of glue, pinning it off my 23 gauge pin gun. That works great, guys. You can hardly see the pins and it holds great. Doing the other side now, starting from the top and working my way down. So easy, guys. Very easy actually. And it looks great. Looks really nice. And just putting the topper on there now. So the birdhouse done. It went together real easy, really easy. Look at that. Come on, great. All right, now the next trick is we have to put a bottom in it, but it hasn't got a bottom in it yet. So, and we're going to extend the bottom past the front about, I don't know, about 70 mil, about 3 inches, just so the birds can land on the bottom before they go into the house. I'm just going to make the bottom out of the 15 mil BC ply again, but we're going to put a surround around it. It's the same as the roof, maybe not quite as wide, so it goes up past the bottom, about 10 mil. So when we put the bird seed around the bottom of the birdhouse to attract the birds, it won't spill over and fall on the decking or fall on the ground. It will stay contained, mostly contained, but the birds will muck it around a bit. But hey, yeah, it's a birdhouse. All right, so we'll do that next. We just cut the bottom, fairly tight around the birdhouse, maybe 10 mil past everything, but we don't want it to look too out of proportion, I suppose, and about 3 inches past the front. And we'll surround it with the merbau. Yay. Okay, I don't explain people, do I? Anyway, I'm getting there, and I can only do what I do. And this is what I do. Alright, just cutting the bottoms now. Careful then. There you go. And now cutting the merbau roughly to size. Again, I like cutting my stock oversized before I recut it. But it's just so much easier that way. And now cutting the surrounds. They're not as wide as the roof surrounds. So there'll be a little off cut here. There it is. And they've all been stained now, and now I'm just going to glue and pin them on. Lining them up with the bottom. I just butt jointed these. I didn't bother miting them, but they're only very thin pieces, and they butt join pretty easy. Made the bottoms now, and I've drilled 4 holes about 1/2 inch in each corner, just to let the water out. But if it is in the open, or even a little bit undercover, you're going to get water pooling on the bottom here, so it's got to escape somehow. So that's why I drilled the holes. Okay, another thing, I made the top bracket, and that's going to have a bit of chain wrapped screwed to it, so you can hook it up. And I made that out of jarrah, and that was just sit on top, and I'll screw it down. But if we've got a beam on the inside of the birdhouse to hold the weight, you just can't screw it to the roof here. But if you didn't have that beam, that wouldn't hold. That would eventually just, the weight of the birdhouse would just pop it off eventually. So we've got one of them. We'll screw that down all the way into the beam. And then we can screw the chain on after it's all oiled. Just drilling the holes now to screw the bottom on. And just screwing it on. Easy as, guys, easy as. We get it there now. We just got to put the topper on there. That will hold the chain to hang it up somewhere. But we've got to find the centre of gravity. Because if you pick it up from there, see, it just hangs like that. Or you pick it up like there, it just hangs like that. Just with your fingers, just find the centre. It might not be in the centre of the house, but we've got the platform facing forward, which might make it lean a little bit. So it'll be almost centre though. That's it there. That looks good to me. And just put a little mark on there. So you know where the centre is. And then we can screw this down. And I've been up the hardware store and I got some natural decking oil. But it came up brown. I didn't like it at all. So I'm just going to go with mineral oil, I think. That's the natural decking oil, and this is the mineral oil. So I'm just going to go with the mineral oil. Same with what I put on my cutting boards. Yeah, I think that'll be right. We just need some oil to protect it. As I said, I love to polish them, but the polish outside will just break down too easily. So I'll go with the oil. So we'll screw this on now, and then we'll oil it up. Yay! Okay guys, we're done. The first of many birdhouses I'm going to make. All different shapes, all different styles. I used to make jewellery boxes, but now I'm into birdhouses. One of the reasons I like making birdhouses, the same as what I like making the boxes, they're small. No point making buffets or wall cabinets, but they'd have no room in my house there, guys, I tell you. But they make too much stuff. Okay, all right, look at that. We got the chain on there, and it just hooks up there. What a great looking birdhouse. All right, guys, thanks for being with me today, and please join me again next time where I will be making probably another birdhouse. See you guys.